Every single one of us dreams of being respected. We dream of walking into a room and having people listen when we speak, trust when we lead, and admire when we act. Let me tell you a hard truth: respect is not about what you own, what you wear, or even what you know. Respect is about who you are when nobody is watching. And the sad reality is most people are not losing respect because they lack talent or intelligence. They are losing it because of the habits they refuse to change. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons so you never miss the next one. Also, drop a comment and let me know which country you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. Let's come back to the point. So friends, arrogance is one of the greatest enemies of respect. It is a silent killer that enters a person's character when they begin to confuse confidence with superiority. Many people who rise in skill, status, or knowledge start to believe that they are above others. This belief is dangerous because the moment you carry arrogance, people stop listening to you with admiration and start tolerating you with resistance. Confidence makes people want to stand with you. Arrogance makes them want to stand against you. To understand arrogance deeply, you must first see how it disguises itself. It often hides behind achievement. The more you achieve, the more your mind whispers, you are special. You are better than the rest. You no longer need to learn. That whisper is seductive because it feeds the ego, and ego always wants to feel bigger than it is. But the reality is, no matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone who knows more, someone who works harder, someone who can teach you something new. The moment arrogance blinds you to this truth, you stop growing, and when you stop growing, respect begins to fade. Arrogance also poisons relationships. Likes to follow or admire a person who constantly looks down on others. People may obey out of fear, but they will never give their respect from the heart. Think of leaders who built empires with humility. They gained loyalty because they treated everyone with dignity. Think of leaders who allowed arrogance to dominate their character. They may have forced people to bow, but the moment their power disappeared, so did every trace of respect. Respect built on fear is temporary. Respect built on humility is eternal. Another dangerous aspect of arrogance is that it blinds you to feedback. When arrogance lives in you, you no longer listen. You dismiss advice. You reject criticism. You convince yourself that you are always right and everyone else is wrong. This makes you fragile. When reality proves you wrong, you collapse under the weight of truth. Those who are respected are those who remain open to learning even after success. They treat every voice as valuable, every perspective as a chance to improve. Arrogant people do the opposite, and as a result, they close the door to wisdom. It is also important to realize that arrogance is not only about words, it is about energy. You don't need to shout, "I am better than you," for people to sense arrogance. It shows in your body language, in how you interrupt people, in how you ignore opinions, in how you treat those who cannot benefit you. Respect is deeply connected to how you make others feel. If you make people feel small, they will never see you as big. If you make them feel valued, they will naturally value you. Some people mistake arrogance for strength, but in truth, arrogance is weakness in disguise. It is an attempt to cover insecurity. Truly strong people do not need to prove they are strong. They walk with quiet confidence. They do not need to compare themselves to others because they are too focused on their own path. Arrogance, on the other hand, constantly seeks validation. It tries to prove superiority by lowering others, but in the end, it only lowers the one who carries it. The cure for arrogance is humility. Humility does not mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It means recognizing that your achievements do not make you more human than others. It means remembering that success is not built alone. There are always teachers, supporters, and opportunities that guided you. Humility keeps you grounded. Grounding keeps respect alive. Arrogance may bring temporary attention, but humility brings lasting respect. When you choose humility over arrogance, people admire you not only for what you achieve, but also for who you are. That is the kind of respect that cannot be taken away. Making excuses is one of the most destructive habits a person can carry because it slowly chips away at credibility, reliability, and trust. Every time someone offers an excuse, they are really doing is building a wall between themselves and responsibility. This wall might feel like protection in the moment, but in reality, it becomes a prison. Excuses keep people trapped in mediocrity because they never allow them to confront the truth. And without facing truth, there is no growth and no respect. When a person makes excuses, they are shifting blame away from themselves and onto circumstances, people, or luck. They say things like, "I didn't have enough time," "I didn't get the right support," or "the situation was unfair." On the surface, these words may sound reasonable. Underneath, they communicate weakness. They say to the world, "I cannot control my own life." Respect cannot exist in the presence of this attitude because people naturally respect those who take charge, not those who surrender. An excuse is nothing but a declaration of surrender. Excuses are also repetitive by nature. One excuse leads to another, and soon it becomes a habit. It is easy to hide behind reasons, difficult to accept responsibility. Yet, this difficulty is what separates ordinary individuals from extraordinary ones. When you remove excuses and stand firm in ownership, you build credibility. People may not always agree with you, but they will respect the fact that you are accountable. Accountability is the foundation of respect because it shows strength of character. It is important to understand that excuses are often a mask for fear. People make excuses to avoid failure, rejection, or discomfort. Instead of admitting that they are afraid, they construct reasons to justify inaction. This is dangerous because it locks them in a cycle of underachievement. By making excuses, they convince themselves that they are victims of circumstances, which robs them of the motivation to change those circumstances. Over time, they become predictable, the kind of person who always has a reason why something could not be done. Respect naturally disappears because nobody trusts a person who never delivers results. Excuses not only damage how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Every excuse is a message to your own mind that you are not capable, that you are not in control, that you cannot rise above obstacles. It weakens your belief system. Your belief system is weak, your actions follow the same path. You lose self-respect first, and when self-respect is gone, external respect is impossible. People sense whether you carry inner strength or inner weakness, and excuses always reveal weakness. The opposite of excuses is responsibility. Taking responsibility does not mean you will never fail. It means that even when you fail, you stand up and admit it. You say, "Yes, this was my mistake. I will fix it." This statement alone commands respect because it shows courage. It shows that you are bigger than the problem and willing to learn from it. People admire those who face challenges with honesty instead of running from them with excuses. Excuses are easy in the short term, but costly in the long term. They may save you from temporary embarrassment, but they destroy your reputation over time. On the other hand, owning your mistakes may be painful at first. It builds a reputation that lasts. People remember those who are dependable, not those who are full of reasons. Respect grows every time you replace an excuse with action, every time you admit an error instead of hiding it, every time you rise instead of retreat. Time is the most valuable currency every human being has, yet it is the one people waste most carelessly. Unlike money, time cannot be earned back once it is spent. Unlike possessions, it cannot be replaced once it is lost. Every tick of the clock is life itself slipping away. Because of this, how a person treats time becomes one of the strongest signals of how seriously others should treat them. Respect is directly tied to discipline, and discipline is always tied to time. When someone respects their own time and the time of others, they communicate responsibility, reliability, and strength of character. Disrespecting time takes many forms. It shows up in chronic lateness, procrastination, poor planning, and lack of urgency. Each of these behaviors may seem small on the surface, but over time, they paint a picture of irresponsibility. If someone is always late to meetings, others silently conclude that this person cannot be trusted to handle bigger responsibilities. If someone procrastinates and delivers results only at the last possible moment, shows a lack of seriousness. People may tolerate these habits for a while, but respect begins to erode slowly until it completely vanishes. Respect grows where trust lives, and time wasting destroys trust. Valuing time is also about self-respect. A person who values their own time is someone who takes their goals seriously. They do not treat hours as disposable because they understand that hours add up to days, days add up to years, and years make a life. When someone spends their time carelessly, they are telling themselves and the world that their life has little direction. This lack of focus and clarity weakens the impression they leave on others. On the other hand, a person who manages their time with care appears purposeful and determined, and this inspires admiration. People naturally respect those who are in control of their life instead of those who drift aimlessly. There is also a deep connection between respecting time and respecting others. You arrive late to a commitment. You are not only wasting your own time, but also the time of the people waiting for you. It is a form of silent disrespect, even if unintended. Every person's time is valuable to them, and when you show that you don't value it, you make them feel unimportant. This damages relationships and weakens your reputation. Conversely, when you are punctual, prepared, and efficient, people feel that you respect them, and this respect comes back to you multiplied. Respect is a mirror. What you give is what you receive. Time management also reflects discipline. Who consistently respect time build systems and habits that allow them to maximize productivity. They prioritize tasks, avoid distractions, and stay consistent in their efforts. This discipline leads to visible results, and results are what command respect. People may like your personality, but they respect your results. The disciplined use of time produces achievements that stand as proof of reliability. Excuses fade away in front of consistent results. Results are only possible through valuing time. It is worth noting that respect for time is not about obsession or rigidity, but about balance. It means understanding priorities, focusing on what matters, and not allowing laziness or carelessness to steal your potential. People who succeed and are respected are not always the most talented. Often, they are simply those who showed up on time, again and again, with commitment and consistency. This simple but powerful habit separates leaders from followers. When people see that you treat time as precious, they automatically treat you as someone of value. Time is life, and when you honor it, you honor yourself and everyone around you. The respect you show for time silently commands the respect you receive from others. And negativity are two habits that quietly erode respect faster than almost anything else. At first, they may feel harmless, even entertaining. The damage they create is profound. Gossip is the act of speaking about others behind their backs, often highlighting their weaknesses, mistakes, or private matters. Negativity is the constant spreading of pessimism, criticism, and doubt. Together, these habits poison relationships, damage reputations, and weaken trust. A person who indulges in gossip and negativity may temporarily gain attention, but they never gain respect because respect cannot coexist with behavior that tears others down. Someone engages in gossip. They reveal more about themselves than about the person they are talking about. They show that they cannot be trusted with sensitive information, that they find joy in the failures of others, and that they lack the courage to speak directly. People may smile or nod while listening to gossip, but inside they are silently noting, if this person talks this way about others, one day they will talk this way about me. That single thought kills respect instantly. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful human connections, and gossip breaks that foundation the moment it begins. Negativity is equally destructive because it spreads like a virus. A negative person always finds reasons why something will not work, why someone cannot succeed, or why every idea is doomed. Instead of contributing solutions, they contribute doubt. Instead of building hope, they build fear. Being around such a person drains energy because negativity consumes motivation and replaces it with hesitation. Over time, people avoid negative individuals not because they dislike them personally, but because they cannot afford the emotional weight they bring. Without influence, without inspiration, without positivity, respect fades away. It is important to realize that gossip and negativity are not signs of strength, but of insecurity. People who gossip often do so to feel superior, to create a false sense of importance by lowering others. People who are negative often do so to protect themselves from risk, because it is easier to criticize than to try. But in both cases, the habits reveal weakness, not power. True strength is in encouragement, in support, in the ability to rise above judgment. People respect those who build, not those who destroy. There is also a long-term consequence to these habits that many fail to see. Gossip and negativity trap the mind in a cycle of smallness. When you constantly look for flaws in others, you stop focusing on improving yourself. When you constantly predict failure, you stop seeking opportunities. This mental prison prevents growth, and without growth, respect is impossible. People admire those who rise, not those who sink. And negativity ensures that a person never rises beyond the level of their own bitterness. Respect is earned through positivity and integrity. When you choose not to gossip, you show loyalty. When you choose not to spread negativity, you show maturity. People notice who they feel safe around, and safety is one of the highest forms of respect. Everyone wants to be around someone who uplifts them, someone who speaks truth to their face instead of lies behind their back, someone who inspires them to keep moving forward instead of dragging them into the mud of doubt. Ultimately, gossip and negativity are signs of wasted energy. The time and effort spent tearing others down could be spent building something of value. The energy spent complaining could be used to create solutions. People who remove these habits not only rise in respect, but also in effectiveness, because they channel their focus into progress rather than destruction. Respect is never given to those who make others feel smaller. It is always given to those who help others feel stronger. Inconsistency is one of the most silent yet powerful destroyers of respect. It does not always appear as a dramatic failure, often shows up in small cracks that weaken trust little by little. Inconsistency is when a person says one thing and does another, when they make promises they do not keep. They shift their values depending on convenience. At first, people may overlook it, thinking it is just a mistake or a moment of weakness. Repeated inconsistency forms a pattern, and patterns are what people remember. Once people begin to see you as unpredictable, unreliable, or unstable in your words and actions, their respect for you starts to disappear. Respect is rooted in trust, and trust depends heavily on consistency. People want to know that your word means something, that your actions align with your principles, and that your behavior can be counted on in different circumstances. When someone is consistent, others feel secure around them. They know what to expect, and this reliability builds admiration. But when someone is inconsistent, uncertainty grows. Today you act with integrity, but tomorrow you compromise for convenience. People question your true values. If you show discipline one week and recklessness the next, people begin to doubt your seriousness. Without consistency, even your strengths lose value, because people cannot be sure if they will see those strengths again tomorrow. Inconsistency is especially damaging in leadership and relationships. A leader who changes decisions constantly without clarity or reason causes confusion. The team begins to wonder if they can trust the direction being given. Over time, this inconsistency weakens motivation because people stop believing in the leader's vision. Personal relationships, inconsistency shows up as broken commitments, shifting moods, or unreliable support. Trust becomes fragile when people feel they cannot depend on you to stand by your words or actions. In both cases, inconsistency erodes respect until what remains is doubt and disappointment. There is also a deeper psychological effect of inconsistency. When you act in ways that contradict your own words, you damage not only the trust others have in you, but also the trust you have in yourself. Self-respect weakens because you begin to feel unreliable in your own eyes. This creates inner conflict, where you want to achieve something but no longer believe your actions will carry you there. Without self-respect, it is almost impossible to maintain the respect of others because people can sense when you lack conviction. The danger of inconsistency is that it can disguise itself as flexibility. Flexibility is adapting to new information while staying true to your core values. Inconsistency, on the other hand, is abandoning your principles for comfort, fear, or convenience. The difference is clear. Flexibility earns respect because it shows wisdom, while inconsistency destroys respect because it shows weakness. People admire someone who adjusts strategies but still holds on to their integrity. They lose respect for someone who changes their values whenever pressure appears. Consistency requires discipline, and discipline is not always easy. It means doing the right thing even when it is uncomfortable, showing up even when you don't feel like it, and keeping your word even when it costs you something. It means aligning your actions with your principles again and again until it becomes your identity. Over time, this consistency becomes a silent signal of strength. People may not always compliment you for it, but they notice it, and their respect grows steadily because they know you are dependable. Inconsistency may win you short-term comfort, but it will cost you long-term respect. Consistency may demand short-term sacrifice, but it builds a reputation that lasts. The world respects people whose words mean something, whose actions match their commitments. Character does not change with circumstances. That kind of consistency does not just earn respect, it sustains it through time, challenges, and change. Fear of effort is one of the most underestimated habits that silently robs people of respect. On the surface, it may not look like arrogance or dishonesty. Its impact is equally destructive. When someone constantly avoids hard work, sidesteps responsibility, or looks for shortcuts, people quickly notice. Respect is not given to those who run from effort, it is given to those who embrace it. Life is built on challenges, and people admire those who face those challenges with determination. When a person consistently shows fear of effort, they send a clear message to others. They cannot be relied upon when things become difficult. That message alone is enough to erase respect. Effort is the currency of growth. Every achievement, every breakthrough, and every success is born from effort. Talent may open the door, but only effort allows someone to walk through it and stay. When someone fears effort, they are essentially choosing stagnation over growth. They hope for results without sacrifice, rewards without labor, and recognition without contribution. This mindset not only prevents progress, but also makes others view them as weak. People respect strength, and strength is always measured in how much effort one is willing to give when challenges appear. Avoiding effort is often disguised as excuses. People say they are too tired, too busy, or waiting for the right time. But beneath these words lies the simple truth: they are unwilling to push themselves. Those who fear effort rarely admit it directly. Instead, they wrap it in explanations that sound reasonable. Yet over time, patterns become visible. When deadlines are missed, when responsibilities are handed to others, challenges are avoided repeatedly. People recognize the fear of effort behind the excuses. Respect begins to vanish because respect is tied to reliability. Reliability is proven through action. Fear of effort is also connected to comfort. Many people stay within their comfort zones because effort demands discomfort, struggle, sometimes failure, but nothing great is ever achieved without discomfort. Growth requires stretching, improvement requires struggle, and success requires sacrifice. Someone refuses to leave the safety of comfort, they also refuse to grow. Over time, others lose respect because they see that this person is unwilling to pay the price of progress. On the other hand, those who embrace discomfort, put in the effort despite challenges, naturally gain admiration. People look at them and say, "Here is someone who deserves success." There is also a deeper impact that fear of effort has on self-image. When someone repeatedly avoids hard work, they begin to lose confidence in themselves. Each missed opportunity becomes a reminder of what they could not face. Slowly, they stop believing in their own ability to handle difficulty. This loss of self-respect becomes visible, and others sense it. Respect begins with self-respect, and if you are unwilling to push yourself, you cannot expect others to respect you. People admire those who keep fighting, even when it is hard, because that fight shows resilience. Respect is closely tied to effort because effort represents commitment. Anyone can speak about goals, dreams, and ambitions. Only those willing to work hard for them are taken seriously. Words without effort are empty, and people quickly see through them. When effort is visible, when someone stays late to finish a task, takes responsibility when others step back, or keeps trying after failure, respect grows naturally. The willingness to put in effort is what transforms intentions into credibility. Fear of effort may feel like a small habit, but its consequences are enormous. Keeps people trapped in mediocrity, damages self-respect, and erases the admiration of others. Respect belongs to those who work, who endure, and who rise again and again. Does not respect laziness or avoidance. It respects effort, because effort is the proof of character. Respect is not a gift. It is not something the world hands you for free. Respect is a reflection of the choices you make, the habits you live with, and the character you show every single day. Arrogance pushes people away. Excuses kill credibility. Time destroys trust. Gossip and negativity shrink your influence. Inconsistency breaks faith. And fear of effort keeps you trapped in mediocrity. Remove these habits, and you will unlock the version of yourself that people cannot help but admire. Remember this: you don't chase respect. You build yourself into someone worthy of it, and respect will chase you. So from this moment on, ask yourself, not, can I do to be respected? But what must I stop doing to protect my respect? Because when you remove the habits that weaken you, you uncover the strength that commands respect. Respect is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent, disciplined, and courageous enough to rise above the habits that hold you back. Do this, and you won't just earn respect. You will own it.